Okay, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is a combo that she can do off of Command Grab Reset. As far as the Command Grab Reset setups, I'm not really going to go too in-depth into that. If you guys really want me to, I can probably make a separate video for that later, but I just want to talk about the combos themselves once you get the grab. So usually you'd want to like switch into your Spencer because you'd like do a lot of damage, etc, etc. So. But She-Hulk can't always afford to tag out the Spencer because sometimes maybe, you know, you got Happy Birthday and he got a lot of damage, or you called him at a bad time and he got punished, so maybe you don't want to raw tag him because he'll lose all the red life. Or sometimes, you know, if you just grab them in the middle of the screen like this, you have to like back up, and then you could get a combo, but you know, maybe you don't feel like calling him. You want to let She-Hulk do some damage. You could let She-Hulk keep going with like a standard, you know, just kind of go into her bread and butter off of that. Super them, which does respectable damage. It's like 400,000, not counting the damage that they took beforehand, obviously, because it's resets. Unless you just like grab them like that, then that's just dirty. But here's a different variation that you can do. This works anywhere on screen, and it's actually easier out of the corner because they're farther away from the wall. What you want to do is you want to do the back heavy, which is the lamp post, and at the same time you want to press the Spencer assist. So what it does is it knocks them away, but Spencer grabs them before they hit the wall, thus saving your wall bounce. And like I said, a little bit harder to do in the corner because if you mistime it even slightly, they'll bounce off the wall and you'll lose your wall bounce. You won't get to super them fully, but out of the corner, pretty free. And off of this, you can just cancel into clothesline. And the great thing about this is because it's off the reset, and up until the crumple, it's only been 4 hits. So that gives you quite a bit of leniency on your air combo. You can afford to do things like delay your air strings. You can just do HS if you wanted to. And in the corner, this is pretty useful because you can really take your time, like so. Slide up, 1, 2, call Taskmaster, launch them again. And as you can see, that combo did about 40,000 more damage. And 40,000 damage, definitely nothing to sneeze at. Could make the difference in a kill and a character that gets away. So, mid-screen, let's see. Okay, so if you want to do this mid-screen, it is possible. Basically anywhere that's like remotely close to the corner, and it's pretty free. However, there will be, you know, those awkward places where, you know, where you won't be able to get them into the corner as easily, so you won't get that free like just like jump up and butt slam for the OTG to Taskmaster. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to get a little creative, and you'll have to really maximize your frame advantage and your fall speed. You're gonna have to dash forward, call Taskmaster at the same time, and then butt slam. And it'll look something like this. So as you can see, I kind of cheated right there. I added a extra medium, but that's basically just to help me delay my hits and fall better. You could still do it, I think, with just HS. The timing does get a little tighter though, and on shorter characters, a little hard. And as you can see in the differences, if you just HS, you do get 4,000 more damage. So it's really up to you, whichever you feel is safer. If you want the guaranteed kill, you get the all the way to the supers, and you know it's your call basically. Personally, I would probably just put the medium in there, just make the combo easier. So yeah, that is my personal bread and butter off of the later reset. Okay, now I'm going to talk about combos off of her AntiAir Grab super. And here's a pretty basic one. Blah blah blah. Or if you want to call Spencer and get more damage that way, you can just do 1 rep. Oh, see right there. Again, calling Spencer too early. Gotta remember that. Yeah, so that does respectable damage again off of what is usually a reset, 434,000. You don't have your wall bounce anymore, so her super's not gonna hurt as much, but still good damage, I think. One of the things to remember with this is when you dash up to do the loop, you have to jump straight up. You can jump forward on the second one, but on the first one you usually must always jump straight up, because if you dash up and jump forward, you just kind of flip over them and it just kills everything. So yeah, just keep that in mind whenever you do this. Straight up, and then you can move forward. And keep in mind, if you do 2 reps, you won't really be able to do much after Spencer. They'll kind of just flip out. So either you have to reset them again, or you have to think of something else. And now, there's really not much to say about it, you know, outside of the corner. You basically just have to dash up and slide. Something like that. And the damage isn't horrible, but the meter is so-so on the gain. I got like almost a meter out of it, which isn't horrible, but it's still not positive, so. But yeah, again, because the slide got nerfed and they're kind of far away after, unless you're using a different assist or something, or a different team, generally you won't be able to get too much off of that. Okay, and now I'm going to show you again like a personal follow-up that I kind of came up with on my own. This one is a little bit weird looking, but you can trust me when I say that it does more damage, so it's definitely something that we're thinking about. Instead of running up and jumping at them, you're gonna just kind of stand in place. And you're gonna boot them into the big lamppost, and before all that though, you're gonna be calling Spencer. So basically, what it's gonna kind of look like is something like that, where everything will connect in a row, except they won't go off the wall because the wall bounce is already used up. Like that. And then, as you saw me do, you have to cancel the lamppost into the run. And you're gonna go into torpedo. Like that. And then off the torpedo, you're gonna then cancel into another running start and launch them. So the whole thing will look something like this. And of course, you don't have your wall bounce anymore, so you'll get like 500,000, and that's about it. normally if I did this, I'd probably have another meter, so I'd probably just like BHC the task or something. But yeah, that's the basic idea. There's not a whole lot of room for creativity in terms of like mixing up how many moves you can slide in and out of this. It's kind of already pushing the hit stun scaling to its limits. One thing that I will note that I highly recommend that you just do HS on the first time up. I think it might be possible to still finish the combo if you do 3 hits on the first time up, but it's really hard. So I just suggest that you just go with HS. It'll make the combo so much easier. And pretty sure this doesn't work out of the corner. I think it's just corner only. But yeah, as you can see, it did a little bit more damage. And as always, that little extra damage could mean all the difference between a character that dies and a character that gets the raw tag out or something like that. So yeah, so that's her combos off of a taking out the trash. Okay, and then now really quickly, I just want to touch on the combo for level 3. And one of the great things about this combo is that, again, it builds its own meter while you're doing this, so you can still follow up at the end.
This is bad. Start.
You can go, yeah, just enough that you go off the wall. You build 1 meter just in time. There you go, 975. So yeah, not much to say about that. It's basically like how we discussed earlier with her grounded bread and butter, except you started off with the torpedo, and you go into that whole relaunch with off the wall. And it's pretty easy. Because you started off a 3-hit super, this combo doesn't scale that much. So yeah, that is that. Okay, now the last thing I wanted to talk to you about is her XFactor combos. And, you know, we all know about the... You just go into, like, super and XFactor, blah, blah, blah. I'm talking about some little more strategic X-Factors, like She-Hulk. One of her greatest assets is her huge damage output. And these XFactor combos that I'm going to show you can be used off of throws or just like anything that hit confirms in the slide. Like that. Like that. So yeah, let's talk about the throw first. Let's see, jumping. So normally off of throws, you know, as you saw, the damage is pretty baby. You get like maybe 400 damage or so. But if you really wanted to off a character, like say, you know, they start someone on point that's really troublesome, like if the Magneto's giving you a hard time, or if, you know, heck, even if Nova is giving you a hard time, or even like somebody really beefy like Wesker who has like 1 million, you know, you can't really kill him off a throw, or so they think, you know. So what I like to do is grab them, XFactor dash up launcher, and then I keep going. That was a bad example of following up because I was too far away, but here we go. So as you can see, that did ridiculous amounts of damage for considering that it was off a throw. And I'm gonna bring the meter back down so I can show you just how much it builds. And this also reinforces what I was saying earlier about torpedoing somebody. Don't hit them shallow, hit them pretty deep. Make sure you hit them in the torso area as much as you possibly can, because you hit them far away like that could potentially lead for like some awkward moments where you like fly up and then it's like I can't hit them. So yeah, you would basically just be sacrificing your XFactor to super and then DHC. And that would basically be a free kill. Works off 4, throw 2. Spencer. Because you're falling faster in XFactor, Spencer will almost always come out. Because you'll always get to the ground in time. And this will do easy million damage. 1.1 million. That is some great damage. That will basically kill way over half the cast. So, great tool to have in your back pocket to get into somebody's head, break up their team synergy, or kill their momentum, kill their best character, or something like that. And again, this doesn't have to be used on, you know, the point character. If you kill the point character and then, like, maybe then their best character comes in, like, second or something, like, I don't know, like a Dormammu or something like that. You grab them, you can kill them. And then, yeah, it's a great tool to have. I think more people should take advantage of that, honestly. Especially since as long as you have a meter, the DHC and everything is taken care of already. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you is how you can execute somebody. So I call it execution combo. Because it literally, they have no shot of living if they get hit by this. Anything that confirms into a slide. You could actually do this off a raw slide if you're that ballsy. But probably not realistic. Off of like Taskmaster to slide or anything like that. But for the sake of practice, I will show you off of just a crouch light to slide. XFactor. Spencer. Pick him up. Super. And then DHC the task. Up arrows. As you can see, this is going to do way over 1.2 million. No way anybody's living that. That is execution at its finest. Not even Thor will live. He'll live. Like, he will not live. Even old Sentinel wouldn't have lived that, so. Yeah. And again, this is just a great tool to have to kill any character at any time. As long as you have it in the back of your head and you're looking for it, this could be such a great tool. And the way that you execute this combo is just very not tight in the least. There are some quirks to it, like once you get the slide and you go up for the BC special loop, you want to make sure that you jump straight up. If you jump forward, you kind of just sail over them, and then you drop the combo. But once you do the first loop, you can jump forward. And one of the last things I want to say about this is when you're waiting to launch them, try not to launch them too early, because if you launch them too high, then, well, you can't really reach them. So you want to pause a little bit, just to allow them to start falling a little bit, and it'll give you the perfect height that you need, like that. And again, just to reinforce what I was saying before, give yourself some time to land before calling out Spencer. Press it too early, he will not show up, and you will be sad. So yeah, that's nothing much more to say about that. Very straightforward, raw damage, taking full advantage of what She-Hulk can do, which is dish out a lot of pain on one hit and just making a character pay. It can really make or break momentum in a lot of matches, especially against beefy characters that tend to go on runs, like characters like Wesker or Mamu. Even shenanigan characters like Hager and Tron, we've seen, you know, from the Japanese players. You know, those thick characters, they can cause problems if you just let them live. So this is to make sure that they will not survive. But yeah, I think that's about it for this part. I'm probably gonna go more in depth. If you want me to go more in depth on some other things that I did not cover, feel free to leave a comment. And I'll see you guys on the next part, which is Taskmaster. Till then, this is DarkM. Take care.